Alright. So, this video is unscripted. This is just a rant video, about Artfight 2024. I just have lazy Lethal Company gameplay in the background with a little PNG tuber, because, I know whoever's watching this is probably drawing. But, I just wanted to talk about a little bit of my experience this year, doing Artfight. I have been doing Artfight for 3 years at this point. I'm a little bit of a newbie, but, I think this year was okay. I'm gonna start off with some positives. I'm gonna put up, like, the attacks that I've gotten this year on the screen, just to give a little showcase of my appreciation for everybody who has done art for me. One of my favorite attacks was Zaba by Meowza315. I think I'm getting that name right. Yes. So that'll be on the screen, and it'll scroll through other attacks that I've gotten with the credits to each person who has attacked me this year. Most of my attacks this year were revenge chains with friends, so that is kind of expected. But I do appreciate everybody who kind of like branched out and decided to attack me this year. Very, very sweet. I appreciate all of the art that I've gotten. My personal favorite work that I produced was Shoreside Sanctuary. That attack was addressed to Zulius, Salty Boba, and Hansel's Knives. This was art of their roleplay characters. Little warrior kitties. Definitely my favorite attack that I produced this year. One of the ones that I'm most proud about. So, yeah. That is the stuff that I'm proud of. I produced 30 attacks this year, I think. 30 even. And, I think that is a pretty good achievement. This includes a mass attack that I lazily did, albeit, but it was done. And an animatic. So, very, very good. Very productive year. One of my most productive years, ever. So, I think that I did a pretty good job. I was aiming for a 50 even battle ratio, but that got ruined on the last day. So, despite battling tooth and nail, I slipped, and, I let the beast best me, but it's okay. I appreciated the attack that I got that ultimately ended in my goal's downfall. But yeah, Artfight this year, it was okay. A lot of people had issues with how it went this year. Personally, I thought that it was pretty positive. I didn't find any sort of rude behavior with anybody who attacked me. So I don't really have many qualms with it. I do feel like the energy was a little bit different this year, just purely due to the fact of how many people Artfight gained this year. I think TikTok definitely has something to do with it, which is something I'll talk about a little bit later. So, you know, definitely more people, definitely a little bit scarier, but in the end, it turned out okay on my end. Now, I will say that the teams were incredibly disjointed this year. I know that, like, one of the main factors of Artfight is not the competitive nature of it. However, if you are going to implement a team, mechanic where points are a driving factor of motivation, I do think that there should be some, acknowledgement of how important that is to kind of wrangle. Seafoam was incredibly outnumbered. I was Seafoam this year, and a lot of my friends were Stardust, so I was just kind of bludgeoned. And I was kind of expecting to be on the losing team anyway. I didn't think that Seafoam would be too popular, and I was right. Stardust had a huge advantage on us, which is a little sad. But, you know, again, friendly fires exist. It's not the main point of Artfight. Although it can be a little bit demotivating when obviously your team is like, just, there is no chance. There is no saving you. This also was probably heightened from how many people were joining. I feel like the competitive nature of the teams and just competitiveness in general was very heightened. That's kind of something that's a little unavoidable with so many new people joining, but it does make it a little bit discouraging, and it kind of loses the spirit of Artfight. So I'm here to preach about just having fun and appreciating every single piece that either you put out or others have put out for you. I always appreciate any art that I get of my characters because someone took the time out of their day to draw that for me. And I encourage, like, a lot of beginner artists to attack me because I genuinely appreciate it. Especially if they're trying to experiment with their style. I heavily implore a lot of beginner artists to experiment on my characters, because I have a little bit of a wide array of character designs, ranging from simplistic to a little bit more complicated. So I really appreciate that, and I probably had all of my art and stuff scrolling across the screen too. But yeah. So a lot of people didn't appreciate a lot of the art that they had gotten, and I've heard stories of people just being generally rude, and unfortunately that's kind of like something unavoidable. There's gonna be rude people, especially when it's saturated in the influx of Artfight participants this year. There was also the human centipede attack thing. That was a whole discourse in the middle of Artfight. That was interesting. Y'all are getting too creative. I did see a lot of creative mass attacks though, like little there was one that my friend Ants from Mars got put in, and it was like a little museum mass attack where some characters were in paintings and some characters were like looking at the paintings. That was really cool. That was really fun. Hold on, let me see if I can get it, cause that was really cool, and I just want to give props to this person because it was such a creative idea. And I remember we were on voice chat and I was like, wow, that is really creative and that is really cool. Okay, it was Mass Attack Art Museum by literally Lumen, and I will probably put it on the screen right now. This was really cool. You can see my friend's character, Ramus, and his little Sona ant in the corner. But yeah, this was really cool. I loved the mass attacks that I've seen from people attacking my friends, so props to you guys. I'll probably put some more on the screen with credits attached, just to give appreciation. Just a little positive appreciation post for you guys, because y'all are really cool. Like, that was a really cool idea. But yeah. Artfight this year, it was okay. I think that I had a fun time, and I definitely felt more motivated with having just personal goals instead of, like, relying on the points too much. I know that a lot of people get hung up on points, but I don't think that that's, like, a huge part of Artfight. Rather, it's just to give appreciation to your fellow artists and have a little community fun time. But, yeah. I think I wanted to add a little bit of, like, a suggestion, maybe, for a, like, pity point system, because I know a lot of people care about points. And one of the things that I came up with was just, if your team is falling a certain percentage behind, the other team's points, like, the total, there should be a little bit of a boost on points until you're, like, caught up from the, like, disproportionate margin. If the teams are gonna be, like, disjointed like that, because I know that there's not a cap on which team can have how many people on it, and that's how Stardust had so many more people than Seafoam this year. So I think that it would probably be beneficial to maybe implement something like that in the future if you're going to have no team capping on, because it's not fun to be put on a team that you're not, like, you don't want to be put on, right? Obviously. But it's also not fun to be, like, a speck of dust flowing in the wind as, like, you're being bludgeoned by, like, 1,000 people, right? For each one person, there's, like, 1,000 more on the other team, right? That's crazy. That's not fun either. So I think that was just a, you know, a little bit of a unforeseen circumstance of how many people were joining this year. It's not a huge issue for me personally, but I feel like a lot of other people would feel more comfortable with something like that, which I totally understand. So I just decided to make that up, make that little suggestion up, to maybe be put in next year, or if there's any sort of issue like that. There was also the the inevitable 404 error, or is it 505? I don't remember. Bad gateway. Site down, obviously. It lasted a lot longer this year, I will admit. The last 2 years, I feel like it was only around, like, the first and second day, but ooh, Artfight was struggling this year, just with the sheer amount of people that joined. So that was, yeah, which ended up in Artfight extending for 3 days, as well as the, like, little lab rat experiments that they put on us, such as implementing the cropping system for thumbnails and just general site maintenance. Probably not the best year to do that with the amount of people, but, you know, stuff happens. I understand. But, you know, I thought that it was okay. I know that a lot of people have had a little bit of more stressful, bad experiences with it, and, you know, unfortunate, but, you know, it happens. I think you just kind of have to make the most of it. And, I'm honestly a little bit nervous as to what next year could bring, but, I think I will still be participating regardless, because I think it's a fun motivator for just getting your spark back into art and, giving art to people who you appreciate, or, you know, drawing characters that otherwise you wouldn't have the chance to draw. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you for watching this rant video, whoever decides to watch this as background noise, probably. This I'll probably have a better scripted video next year. But for now, this is what I decided to put out. Um, but yeah, Artfight, pretty cool. Like that thing. Yeah.